before we get into playing, I want to talk about one of the most frustrating things about the violin it can be is tuning it. So tuning it, people are unsure where to start and how to do it. So I have on my phone, I've downloaded a tuning app which is accessible to a lot of people. There's lots of tuning apps out there. Okay, and as I mentioned before, the strings, the names of the strings are E, A, D, and G. So I'm gonna start. I purposely took my G string out of tune here. So if I pluck my G string, you can see I'm down to an E flat, or even lower. So now I know my G is low. I have to get up to a G, right? Going by the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I have to go from an E flat up to a G. So that means I'm not going to have enough room on these fine tuners to tune up to a G flat, so I will have to tune up in the peg box. Now it's important not to tune too tight, otherwise you can snap a string, right? So there we have just below that E flat. So I'm gonna, as I turn in the peg box, I'm gonna lightly press in. So I'm gonna turn and press in. Okay, so I've come a little bit of a notch, about a half a notch there. So now, as you can see, I'm just past F sharp. So I'm gonna take just a little bit of that and go again. Again, pressing towards the inside of the peg box as I go in. Now you can see I've gone too far. Sorry, my talking's picking up there. You can see I've gone past the G. So now I'm going to adjust with the fine tuner. I'm going to take some of the tension off with the fine tuner. Like I said before, like tightening the bow, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay? Same thing with the pegs. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, just like a typical screw. So I'll take some of the tension off here. A little bit more. I'm closing in on the G. There, that's where I want to be. Let's go through the D. Perfect. A. Oh, a little sharp on the A. Again, I'll take some of the tension off by loosening the screw on the fine tuner. And then the E. E is also a little bit sharp. The tuning will change to with humidity and lack thereof on the instrument, because the instrument is made out of wood. As there's more humidity in the air, it's going to change the structure of the instrument a bit. So again, just to review, if it's out probably one full cycle, either way, I will use the big tuners to get that bigger bite. With the fine tuners, maybe more of a half step out, like a half a key out, a sharper flat. So and part of the reason I don't want to do too much with the fine tuners, I can screw those down to tighten right down to the bottom, but oftentimes the tailpiece sits not that far above the belly of the violin, and I've seen where people have screwed the fine tuner down so tight that it digs into the top of the wood, which is not a good thing on the violin. So just always keep an eye on if there's a little bit of space in between the tuning push down on the tailpiece and the top belly of the violin. Make sure that's not going in there. And if the screw is down right tight, then you're going to have to put a little bit of relief on with the top of the violin peg up there. So that's how you tune a violin.